Twyla here, and today I will be going over these 4 that I got. They are Crazy Art Washable Kids Paint. I got one in white, one in blue, one in red, and one in black because these were the only colors they had at Walmart. So yeah, I'm going to try them out today and we'll see how it goes. So what I have noticed is that these don't look very well shaken up. Like, you can tell, like, it's pink on the bottom, then red right there. And I have tried shaking these a lot, and it just does not help. Okay, other than that, some, like the black, does look very well shaken up, and it looks really black. Like, here, I'll unscrew it. Yeah, like, look at that. It looks really black. So we will hopefully get an actual black. Yay! Okay, what I have noticed is that the only one that's different is the blue. The blue is more of a matte finish on the bottle instead of like this really, okay, bad example on there, really like shiny bottles. And I don't know what that's all about because everything else, like down to the label itself, is exactly the same. I see no difference. So yeah. Other than that, also, the 3 other than the blue have like a spiral. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but have like a spiral on the cap on the label, but the blue doesn't. Yeah, the blue doesn't, but like every other one does. Don't know if the camera's picking that up very well. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to be doing that today. So yay! So, let's get on with the video. Okay, so this is where I start, and oh man. Okay, I'm pulling up a picture of the Black Widow that I used as a reference so that I could do that. And funny enough, I only ended up using that one brush for this entire thing. I mean, in hindsight, I could have done better on everything if I had used a smaller brush, but yeah. Oh, my arm. I gotta figure out that camera angles. Oh, and oh, it didn't show up well on camera, but that's green. That's like this bluish green mess, and I hate it. This was not a real black, and you can kind of tell on camera that it was so streaky. It is ridiculous. I honestly just friggin' hate it whenever that happens. Just you think it's gonna be like this super sweet black, but no, it's not. It's green. And this isn't just with paint, it's also with markers and sometimes colored pencils, but only like the really, really, really cheap brands. Like if you get Jot sometimes does it. It depends on the formula, because sometimes you have formula variants depending on the art supply. But yeah, with this, I couldn't, no, no. It was, first of all, not opaque in one coat. Second of all, really, really streaky. And third, it was green. Ah! Oh, man, it was just not a good one in the slightest. Not at all. Ugh. Ugh, man. Yeah, just not great. Not great. No. And then as it goes, it gets worse. Yeah, it gets worse. Like, honestly, this was so thin, and you would think it would be thicker, but no, it's not. It's basically like tempera paint, except like water soluble. I I did not like this black at all. When I went on my second coat, it wasn't that great either. It just ended up being kind of splotchy, and it was really hard to layer. And I was using canvas paper, so it could take that liquid on there, but just it wouldn't dry. It wouldn't dry that quickly at all. And usually the washable paints are like a thicker version of watercolors, but this was just no, 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 no. It was ridiculous, and I can't. No. Okay. And for finishing up, I really should have used another brush because the legs came out really wonky. And I'm not the best painter, like at all. I'm not claiming to be, but this paint, man, I know a good paint when I see one, and this paint is no, you get what you paid for. Less than $1. Yeah, no. I've actually seen Dollar Tree brands like Jaw and all that do watercolors immensely well. And washable also. And Crazy Art has this branding on it to where just just know it's trash. They just know that Crazy Art is just trash. Yeah, so I recommend not getting this for your child. I mean, for a kid, I guess it's okay, I guess, but like I recommend if you're art on a budget, don't go with Crazy Art. Don't. Like I got a palette of watercolors. I will be showing in a different video from Walmart for about $7, and it is a, a lot better than this. Just so, so much better. And I do recommend doing that instead of these cheap tempera water-based paints. It really is terrible. And you'll see later on, like, honestly, it's just terrible. So, whenever I brought in the red, I could tell how it was. It was like they watered it down. And you can see me, like, shaking it up again. I am really, really, really trying here, but it just would not mix. And I wasn't about to ruin my brush by dipping it down in there and mixing it like that. I did a little on the surface, but I wasn't about to go all the way with it. No, no, no. And then, and then, it doesn't go over the black at all. Like, it mixes with the red, and mind you, I would only dip my brush in water so that way I could get a different color. But, no, 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 no. This was just terrible. It wouldn't go over, and it would actually bring up the dried paint underneath it. And yes, it had dried by then. And it was terrible. Like, yeah, I recommend this washable paint unless you have toddlers who are gonna get it on their clothing, or like someone under the age of 10 who might get it on their clothing. And it was so not pigmented, like at all. Like, it was just terrible. It was really just terrible. I, yeah. And just looking back on this, it's still not dry, and it's like I'm doing this voiceover and editing. So yeah, it's not good at all. Yeah, and after a certain point, I leave it like that. There's no more I can do with it, just no more. Yeah, definitely a thumbs down for me. Definitely a thumbs down. So after this, I ended up using the royal blue, and okay, the only positive part of this friggin' review, this blue, okay, it had an actual like seal on it. I didn't really show it in the camera, but yeah, it had a seal on it. It had a seal on it, which kind of threw me off because that's another difference that it had between the other ones. And it was just really vibrant for a washable paint, and I really liked it. It did remind me of actual watercolor. I did enjoy using that. It was a good paint, and I will possibly use that again. But yeah, or at least give it to my niece. But yeah, it's really pigmented and it looks really good. Like on camera, it kind of mixes with the black a little bit and it looks like a shadow, which was what I was going for. But yeah, it's a lot better. I don't know if it was different formulas they used or something else, but yeah, like that glue was the best thing out of this whole thing. It was really fantastic and I really enjoyed using it. It was very surprising for me too. Like, I did not expect it to be so pigmented and so easy to use. Yeah, it really reminded me of a watercolor. It went really well also. Yeah, so that blue was the only good thing out of this entire thing. And I kind of had difficulty like matching it because on the photo I was referencing, it didn't have the red, it didn't have the blue, it didn't have any of that. It just had the spider and the highlights. So I kind of improvised a little to actually use these colors, because what else am I going to use these colors on in a picture? And yeah, it's a lot better than I had even at all from it. Like, I knew it'd be kind of different from the others because of the packaging, because, like I said earlier, it had a matte bottle instead of a glossy bottle. But yeah, I am just thoroughly impressed with it. It went fantastic. Good job, Crazy Art, for actually making a decent product. Yeah, good job, Crazy Art. You did decent. So after I was done with the royal blue, I went for the highlights with the white. And same problem with the red. No pigment at all. I had to glob it on there just so that it wasn't translucent. It was terrible. Like, honestly, it was really, really bad. This isn't hyperbole. It was bad. It didn't handle well, and it was really, really watery. And like I said, I did shake these a lot. I had to glop it on just for it to be even slightly opaque, and that's just not good at all. So, yeah, like as you can see where it's already drying, you can barely even tell that it's on there, and I hate that. Like, that is just terrible for a paint. No opaqueness to it. I mean, it might be interesting like after you glob it on to have it kind of mix with the background colors a little, but that's not what I was going for, and it's not that great of a highlight. I would not recommend that. So, yeah, that is my review on this, and I will show the final product next. So, there you have it. Would I use these again? Probably not. Maybe on the blue, but everything else, just no way. Okay, so that was my review of the Crazy Arc washable paints. And honestly, if that's on your school supply list this year, kids, just don't. Get something like Crayola, which is good money worth. Like, it's good for the money you're paying. It's still really, really inexpensive, like $2 to $3 at most. And not to mention, it's not going to be garbage. So, without further ado, I will talk to you a lot later. Bye! Thanks for coming out.